Are you ready to take your life to the next level? Join me on Friday, March 29th for Next Level Living, How to Make Big Moves for the Life of Your Dreams, where I will guide you through the transformative process of getting in touch with your deepest desires, crafting a concrete action plan, and executing those steps with confidence and clarity. Are you tired of feeling stuck or settling for less than you deserve? It's time to break free from limitations and to step into your power. During this workshop, you'll learn practical strategies to identify what truly lights you up and to map out a roadmap to turn your dreams into reality. Whether you're dreaming of a career change, starting your own business, or simply craving more fulfillment in your life, this webinar is designed to empower you to make bold moves towards the life you've always envisioned. Don't miss this opportunity to invest in yourself and embark on a journey towards living your next level life. Secure your spot today and let's make big moves together. Welcome to Because I've Healed, the podcast where we talk about shaking the chains of expectations placed on us by the world. My name is Asha Wilkerson, and I'm a former high-achieving attorney and college professor turned healing-focused life coach for Black women. Each week, I'm bringing you a life lesson that started with healing. Not only will I explain the chains I was able to break, but also the success I experienced after. Let's get to healing. Today, I'm going to talk to you about next level living, what it is and what it takes to get there. I think it really started for me way back in 2014, maybe even before then, because I had been running my law practice for about 3 years at that point, and I was on my way to Brazil to experience the World Cup live and in person. The best part was that I was traveling with three of my good friends, two of whom I went to law school with. I'd traveled before then, but this trip was so special. It marked the beginning of a shift in my wants, desires, and perspective. I decided that litigation was no longer for me and had planned to wind up all of my cases before I left. When I returned, my plan was to network with business owners and to provide them advice and counsel on employment law and business law so they could stay out of hot water, which would allow me to teach and to stay out of court, which was my ultimate goal. I also realized how important lifestyle was to me. I'd been so caught up in recreating the law firms that I had seen around me, recreating their processes, their billable hours, and the stressful work environment because I was trying to compete with the big boys and follow the model that had been laid out. But it really just wasn't a fit for me. I wanted to help people and have a thriving business, but I didn't want to be on call. I didn't want to be in court, and I didn't want to feel like I was sacrificing my personal life just to run a business. So I had to decide what my priorities were. And in order to do that, I had to ask myself why I was doing what I was doing. Fortunately, when I was really young, my mom started me on the path to self reflection. I'd come home from school or from the playground complaining about a classmate being mean to me, and she would ask me, Asha, what part did you play in this interaction? Of course, initially it threw me off because I wasn't able to see how I contributed to the situation. I was only 7 or 8 years old at the time. But very quickly, I caught on and learned that I co create every situation I'm in. Eventually, I applied that knowledge to the rest of my life, and I realized that I'm constantly creating my reality through the choices I make and my responses to situations. In other words, I'm not only responsible, but totally capable of creating a life that I love and enjoy. Let me say that again. I'm not only responsible for, but I'm totally capable of creating a life that I love and enjoy. I'm totally responsible and capable of creating my next level living situation. But how? Well, I'll tell you, the process is pretty simple, but the commitment is where you're tested. So here's what I do. I constantly check in with my wants and desires. Sometimes I'm checking in daily, and sometimes I'm only checking in monthly, but I check in pretty regularly. I have to stay tuned to my body and my emotions to see what it is that I really want because I have years of experience of listening to my brain while ignoring my body's wisdom. For example, when I was litigating, and even now, sometimes when I take on projects that I don't actually want to do, I can't sleep. I wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. and my list of to-dos for the day runs through my mind like credits on a movie screen, just in a row. Sometimes I can't go back to sleep, but more often than that, I'm up for 2 or 3 hours, and the only way to calm my mind back down is to do some of the work that's on the list. Now, my body was clearly giving me a message. I knew that the anxiety or misalignment was waking me up in the middle of the night, but I'd rationalize my decision to take on the project because it was good money, or because it would be good for business or good for my reputation. When I realized that I needed to listen to my body because it was delivering a clear message rather than learn how to cope with the misaligned situation, my decision started to change. So instead of thinking, how can I do this work that I don't want to do and calm my body down, I realized that my body was telling me that I don't need to do that kind of work. I started saying no to opportunities that caused my body to spaz out, but I had to take the space to ask myself what I wanted and then listen to my body for the answer. Not all of you will have the same kind of somatic response that I do when I'm out of alignment, but you'll have a response. It could be a racing thought or racing thoughts. It could be anxiety, an upset stomach, sleeplessness, rapid heartbeats. It could be mood swings or any number of things. That's your body's way of communicating with you that something is off. And I encourage you to listen rather than finding ways to cope in an uncomfortable situation. After I figure out exactly what it is that I want, which changes periodically. I mean, I grow, things change, the people I'm around change. So my desires and wants change as well. But once I figure out what it is that I want, I then decide how I want to get there. When I finally accepted that my time in California had come to a close, I started making plans to pack up and leave. I thought long and hard about what I wanted in my life because I had to really think about it because I absolutely love California, and the Bay Area, Oakland in particular, held and holds a special place in my heart. I knew what I didn't want, but I had to figure out what I did want. I wanted peace. I wanted more space between how hard I work and what it takes to live. I wanted to meet new people and hopefully find a romantic partner. I wanted to travel and to eat healthy food without having to work so hard to make sure I've read all of the ingredients on the label. When I went back to Portugal last summer, I knew that I could find all of those things on my want list in that country, or at least I felt like I could with some reasonable degree of certainty. So I made a plan and then I executed it. I did some research, I talked to some friends, and made an appointment with Portugal's visa servicing company before I even returned to the United States. I decided what I wanted to do with my full-time job, and the question was, do I want to keep it and work remotely, or do I want to take a break from teaching and running the program altogether, or do I want to teach adjunct and not have any of the leadership responsibilities but do what I actually love, which is teaching? I chose a date to vacate my apartment and started selling the items that I didn't want to take with me. I made a plan for my transition out of California and into the next stage of my life. That's what it takes to get to your next level. Tapping into your wants and your desires and then executing the plan you create to turn your dreams into reality. The process is simple, but you will face challenges in the form of limiting beliefs, family or friends being unsupportive, and then, of course, questioning yourself and your decisions. I created Friday's workshop, Next Level Living, to help you prepare for your next level. Not just the planning stages, but also to give you the skills and support that you need to push through when doubt starts to creep in. I know you're ready for your next level and you deserve to get there. So join me Friday, March 29th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time so we can get you to your next level. To join the workshop, you can visit the show notes or head to ashawilkerson.com/workshop to register. I'll be forever grateful if you could do me a favor and share the workshop information with at least one friend. What I've found is that walking the road alone is doable, but walking the road with a friend almost guarantees your arrival. So remember, it's because I've healed that I've been able to repair old relationships and start new ones from a different perspective. It's because I've healed that I've been able to leave expectations behind that no longer serve me. It's because I've healed that I'm currently living my dream life out loud with no regrets. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. The best way to keep in touch is to go to my website, ashawilkerson.com, and join my email list. If you'd like more information about this episode that you just listened to, head to the show notes and you'll find all the details and all the links. See you next week.